The cable installer grabbed my arm. Every house on this block has hidden cameras that aren't on your security system. We were all being watched without knowing it. Garrett from Tech Connect Cable was supposed to be doing a routine installation in our new house. We'd moved to Oakwood Heights 3 months ago because it seemed like the perfect suburban neighborhood. Great schools, low crime, friendly neighbors who brought casseroles when you moved in. The American dream, basically. But when Garrett climbed down from our attic, his face was pale and his hands were shaking. Instead of asking me to sign the work order, he grabbed my arm with an intensity that made my stomach drop. "Ma'am, we need to talk privately, right now." His voice was barely above a whisper, and he kept glancing toward the windows like someone might be watching us. "Is everything okay with the installation?" I asked, confused by his strange behavior. Garrett had been friendly and professional for the past 2 hours, joking about our moving boxes and complimenting our choice of neighborhood. This sudden shift felt completely wrong. "The installation is fine, but there's something else up there you need to know about." Garrett pulled out his phone and showed me photos he'd taken in our attic. "These cameras aren't part of any security system you installed, are they?" The images showed small, professional-grade surveillance equipment mounted in corners I'd never even seen. Tiny lenses pointed down through what looked like pinhole openings in our ceiling. My mouth went dry. We'd never installed any security cameras anywhere in the house. "Are you sure those aren't just old equipment from the previous owners?" I asked, though even as I said it, the cameras looked way too modern and well-maintained to be forgotten remnants. Garrett shook his head grimly. "That's what I thought at first. But look at this." He swiped to another photo showing thick cables running from the cameras through the walls. "These are connected to a main hub that's hardwired into the house's electrical system. Professional installation, probably cost thousands of dollars. And the cables run outside to a junction box that connects to the street." I felt dizzy looking at the photos. Someone had been watching everything we did in our own home for 3 months. Our breakfast conversations, our arguments about money, our private moments when we thought we were alone. Who would do this? And why? "That's not even the worst part," Garrett continued, his voice getting even quieter. "I've done 12 installations on this block in the past year. Every single house has the same setup. Every house on this block has hidden cameras that aren't on your security system. We were all being watched without knowing it. The room felt like it was spinning. Our entire street was under surveillance? That's impossible. Someone would have noticed during home inspections or renovations." But even as I protested, I remembered how our realtor had rushed us through the final walkthrough and how the home inspector had seemed to skip the attic entirely. Garrett pulled up more photos on his phone. "Here's the thing that really freaked me out. I recognize this equipment. It's the same surveillance gear that government contractors use. Military-grade stuff, way beyond what any private security company would install." He showed me close-up shots of serial numbers and manufacturer labels. "This isn't some perverted neighbor with hidden cameras. This is professional intelligence gathering equipment." I had to sit down. The implications were overwhelming. "How long do you think these have been here?" My voice came out as barely a whisper because I was starting to realize that everything we'd done since moving in had potentially been recorded. Based on the installation quality and the dust patterns, I'd guess these were installed when the house was built, maybe even before the previous owners moved in. Garrett glanced around our living room like he was seeing it differently now, which means whoever set this up has been planning this for years. That's when I remembered something that had seemed odd at the time, but I'd dismissed. When we were house hunting, our realtor had been unusually pushy about this specific neighborhood. She'd shown us houses in other areas, but kept steering us back to Oakwood Heights, saying it was perfect for our profile and that we'd fit right in with the community demographic. "Garrett, I need to ask you something important. Did the cable company send you specifically to this neighborhood, or was it random?" I was starting to connect dots that painted a terrifying picture. His expression darkened. "That's actually what made me suspicious enough to take photos. My dispatcher told me to prioritize all calls from Oakwood Heights and to be extra thorough with attic inspections. He said the company had a special contract for this area. When I asked what that meant, he told me not to worry about it and just do the work. The special contract detail made everything worse. It suggested the surveillance wasn't random, but part of some organized operation." "Do you think your company knows about the cameras?" Garrett was quiet for a long moment, clearly wrestling with the implications of what he'd discovered. "I don't know, but I'm starting to think some people at Tech Connect might be involved. The work orders for this neighborhood always come with weird instructions about documenting existing wiring and taking photos of anything unusual we find in attics or basements." My phone started buzzing with a text from my husband David, who was at work. "Installation going okay? Everything looking normal?" The message that would have seemed perfectly innocent this morning now felt ominous. How did he know to ask if things looked normal? Full story on my channel and linked below.